Of course, the American League leaders right now for standings, no surprise, Yankees. True. I'll get. All right. All right. You carry for a point. You win the argument on that one. um, Cleveland and Kansas City are both tied right now for the Central leaders in the American League, and Houston for the West. Um, NL leaders: Dodgers for the West, Philadelphia for the East, and Milwaukee for the Central. So, of course, guys, not only by watching me, but you can also visit MLB.com to get those stats. But you're right. Whether it's the AL East or the NL West, those are two real good divisions right there, and are always the strongest um, two divisions. Um, they play host. Yes, four teams competing. Correct. You're right. In the NL right now, West, you do have four teams competing for the playoff spot. Correct. And to be more precise, those four teams are. Give me just a second. I gotta pull it back up. For the wild card, at least, for the NL, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, um, Padres, and Giants. Correct. Yep. And just below that marker by 3 games for NL, uh, is the Mets. Just a couple games down from that. No, no. Rockies are like not even on. They're at the bottom of that radar for the National League with their current record of 49 and 84. So yeah, they're not even in that mix. And of course for the AL, neither is Chicago White Sox. So and right now they have a four top run between um, Baltimore, Cleveland, Kansas City, and Minnesota um, for the wild card. Yeah, they have clinched that. I'll give them that. They have clinched a non-playoff spot, um, which honestly is surprising with their record. That's the catcher. Even though they've lost 101 games, they're only 41 back. Next versus 18. Correct. Correct. Um, let me see what else we got interesting coming out of MLB. From 20 to 41, here's the. Hmm. But definitely going to give it to the Dodgers right now. I didn't think they would be that far up. I really didn't. Yeah, they are. With every stat, you're correct. Correct. With every stat, they are at the bottom of the league right now. Um, because let's see, their PCT is .235. Come on, slide over. So yeah. Average of, yeah, correct. Huh? Hang on, let me click onto them. I'm going to get more details on them. But yes, with a .221 batting average, yeah. Yeah, I think that surprised everybody, to be honest. I think right now the Dodgers are shocking a lot of people, especially in the West. Oh, wait a minute. What's today? Today's the 28th, so they got a game today. They're going against Baltimore. Los Angeles Dodgers are going against Baltimore. They won against the Orioles last night. Or no, they lost against the Orioles last night by 1 run. They beat Tampa on Sunday by 2. Okay. So, but today they're going against the Orioles again. So maybe they'll do better this time. Yes, he does right now. Legitly, he is leading. You're right. He is leading the league in homers right now. With a 1.197 as far as his ops. His average, he's number 2 with a .333. Current homers in the season, he's at 51. He's only 10 behind Oshani. Oshani's at 41. Dang. Those two are battling it out. And RBIs, Judge is at 122. And he's at 155 hits and 104 runs. So, yeah, he's got impressive stats. Very impressive. I think to a lot of people's amazement, especially for how tall he is. You know how big of a strike zone that is? Whew. Sometimes that strike zone with with a lot of people who don't follow baseball or don't realize, the taller the batter is, the worse the strike zone is. Yeah. He look, I'm 5'5". He freaking towers me. Okay? He's one of those where I've got to look up and be like, hi. How you doing? I feel like Kevin Hart at that moment. Meeting Michael Jordan. Well, Kevin Hart meaning any basketball player. Let's put it that way. I mean, when it comes down to basketball players, maybe I have a better chance of being eye to eye with some of them. But see, unfortunately, I don't. I think I've reached my peak, especially with my age. I've reached my peak. I'm at that point where I've reached my peak, 5'5" even, and yeah, no. And yes, um, my in-game player is 5'5". Um, not my legit weight nor legit age. Let's put it that way. He's a younger version of me. But The one thing on the road to the show that I like is, and I've always liked, is the customability that you have of your player, and you can use your player to play to your style. Um, like for me, IRL, I have a legit habit of swinging at just about every pitch I see, just about. So it kind of translates into the game. Um, the only reason I really like Road to the Show more than I like Diamond Dynasty is in Diamond Dynasty you're playing every one of your players on your team. Um, that's good for your multitasking, but you're advancing the career of um, an actual card of an actual legit player, which don't get me wrong is a good thing, but you kind of have to play into their style. So you're constantly adjusting. Whereas you want to feel legit MLB and legit like you're a part of the MLB, it's best to play Road to the Show because you're taking that path towards the actual career and building that career um, focused on you, not focused on just the entire team. Which, yes, in real life, not only do you want to focus on your own career, you want to focus on the career and the growth of your team or your organization, um, which a lot of players have a bad habit of forgetting. A lot of them are just after their own personal growth, but you've also got to grow the team and the people you play with, your organization. Um, it's not just about you. Um, so that's why I like one of the reasons I like Road to the Show because you're growing your own personal character. And now introducing in 24 the ability to do facial scans. So being able to put your legit face on your AI is even better because now it looks like you, at least in facial figures. Um, and your path to that growth is only as good as the way you play it. Because you have, just like IRL, organization will always set out goals for each level that you must meet in order to progress and get that growth. Um, but um, let's see, where was I going with that one? Lost track for a moment. But um, I've played it once. I've played franchise. Um, Now it's just to check it out and to get a feel of the because franchise when you what most people don't realize is that set up as like the management style as the management style of the league or the team. Um, you're managing the team in franchise mode, um, which I like. It plays into your leadership style and leading and making those decisions and realizing what it takes to be a legit leader in the MLB and manage an actual team. It takes a lot to manage a team. And a lot of people don't realize that. And that's one of the things I like about franchises. It helps you realize that. Hey, man. Appreciate the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome into the Shadow Den. You're catching me right at the end of my stream today. I have to give my PC a little bit of a cool down and calm down because it started getting glitchy on me there. While I wait for my new one to come in, which will keep up with what I can do. Um, so I decided to take the moment to do just like a chatting and talk about IRL baseball and, of course, MLB The Show. My character plays for the New York Mets, um, which in IRL is my favorite team, but I just love the game more than I've just grown up around and rooting for the Mets, the New York Mets. Um, whole family on that side roots for the Mets. So we, I remember being little, and I'm really about to show my age by doing this. Um, Going to Mets home games at Shea Stadium as a little kid to watch home games. So yes, I've been to Shea. I have not had the pleasure or benefit too current to be able to go to City Field. Um, One ability that I would love to be able to do is actually go to City Field and watch a game and check it out. Give me a minute. Dang deaf cat. Just doesn't know when to stop meowing and when they're too loud. But to that, um, that's how I've grown up rooting for the Mets. Even when I've an adult moved to a different state, I still root for the Mets. Um, but I just love the game of baseball. It's not so much the team as it is the game itself. Um, for me, um, I'm kind of saddened in the way that some of it in IRL is gone with the way some of the players are nowadays. It's all about the flashiness more than it is the glamour of playing the game to be playing the game, which is the way it originally started. And a lot of the old time players um, were is they played the game to play the game and for the passion of the game and the understanding of the game. Um, for those that don't realize, MLB is one of the easiest games to follow and understand. Even with all the different rules and all the different regulations, it is easier to follow and understand versus, let's say, football. Um, well, no, I can. I want to say hockey's an easy one to follow too, as you are just following a puck on ice. um, See, all right, NFL. For me, I have a problem following NFL. See, I'm not an like. I don't know. I can never associate with NFL. I can follow NHL. Um, don't follow that as much as I follow baseball, of course. I do occasionally watch football. I'm known to watch it pretty much like the Thanksgiving games, the Rose Bowl, the big games. I'll watch it just because it's a bigger game. It's a more out there game. I don't really watch the regulatory season of football. Um, Same thing with hockey. I don't follow hockey as big as I do MLB. I'll watch every MLB game, even if my team's not playing. Oh, so you're a part of a fantasy league, okay? Oh, Rams. Eh. See, the fact that I don't follow football like that, I'm kind of like that for every team, even though I'm kind of partial to both New York teams. Oh, you're in a fantasy league with just your family. Okay, hey, ain't nothing wrong with fantasy leagues, and especially family, because uh, the fantasy league is kind of like a bonding scenario. Um, so it's something for y'all, for everybody to share in common and have fun with. So there ain't nothing wrong with fantasy leagues. See, if I were to do a fantasy league, I would do it for me because I follow it more. I'd do it in baseball more than I would football because in fact I just don't follow football like that. So I don't have a greater understanding of players in the fantasy league for football versus baseball. Um, So I would probably wind up doing better in a fantasy league on MLB. Oh, they do. All right. Definitely got to look into that. I'll probably definitely start doing that. I just got to find a group of people. 'Cause that's going to be the other part. Because just like with any sport, it's more fun when you have more people. Um, so yeah, definitely got to look into that. Appreciate that. I didn't even know that one. And it's funny because I'm a fan of MLB and I didn't even know that there was an MLB fantasy. Hey, more people, more knowledge. You know what I mean? It's always beneficial to have people who know. Because I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I'll admit that. Um, but another change that I saw MLB working on making, and they're working on it more right now in the minors than they are the majors, but it's going to make its way into the majors, is the umpiring. Because they're trying to eliminate the human factor out of the umpiring, as far as like home plate umpiring more than anything. Um, Calling balls and strikes, which is a big contention in every game, is the home plate umpires everybody knows calling balls and strikes, which you can't argue over, by the way. A lot of great ejections come out of watching them argue it, though. Whether it be players or coaches. You're right. It's one step in the correct direction. Correct. Because then it eliminates that. Yeah, let's not. That is definitely one step in the right direction with Angel Hernandez finally retiring. One of the worst umpires in MLB history of all time. Legit. Yeah. Finally getting rid of him, it's a good thing. And he's the reason that they've put a lot of work into creating the AI and working on the AI to call balls and strikes is because Angel Hernandez. You guys don't believe me? They have come out and said it once before, and I'll find the video and share it with you guys on a stream, where the MLB has admitted to that fact that he was one of the reasons they came out with AI to call balls and strikes because Angel Hernandez. Now, mind you, he wasn't only a bad umpire behind home plate; he's a bad umpire no matter where he was at, whether it be the first base, third base, or center field. Even worse, if he were the crew chief. That was no. That was just a mistake. Hernandez has never, in my opinion, ever been or will ever have the ability and criteria to be crew chief, and should have never given been given a chance to be crew chief. For that factor, should have never gotten a chance to be an umpire in the first place. But you know, just like with any job that has a union, you got protection. Unfortunately, the union ain't going to be able to help them when it comes down to being switched over to being controlled by AI as far as balls and strikes. They'll still be out in the field, they'll still be behind home plate, but the call they'll give behind home plate will come from an AI. Um, that, from my understanding, and I'm going to look more into it in more details so I can be more accurate on it because I like being accurate. The AI feeds the call into their ear via a system as far as whether it was a ball or strike after the AI calculates which one it was. Whether it was a ball or strike, so they can be accurate. And if you watch some of the actual games lately on TV, um, they've started demonstrating the AI and its abilities um, to help show the accuracy of the umpire. Because there are some stadiums that have already got the AI equipped and already got it working. So that's why you don't see it in every game and every broadcast, and not at every stadium either. Um, There's only a handful of them right now. I've got the system in place, um, and you'll hear the commentary staff. They'll definitely, when it says that it was a ball, but it's actually called a strike, legit arguments that it shows. Yes, that's where I first heard about it. But then I started watching games recently this year, and it's been more this year in the 2024 season than anything that I've started seeing it being used on TV and broadcasts. But it's very rare, um, and I think it has to be. It's more on the fields that current organizations or current teams within even their minors are preferring to use more than anything, that you'll see it in their stadiums, and they'll be the ones that'll push for it more. Um, so that's why you see it's rare in actual majors right now, but they're making a big push for it, and it's those few teams that if you watch the broadcasts, you'll see the stats um, as to what the actual call was versus what the umpire actually called. Um, So yes, right now it has been in the minors. I think for the last 2 years, been in developmental status, um, and they've been using it a lot in the minors. Correct, more than the actual MLB. MLB doesn't actually use it right now. It's the very few teams that have it in their actual stadiums because they're making the push for it that you'll see on the broadcast, not actually used. Because if it did, then the call that the ump makes versus the AI would be exact. So they're just using right now. They use it in a broadcast to show the abilities because very few minor league games are actually broadcasted. So um, they're starting to use a couple major league games to make that push and show it to the audience. Um, right now, my World Series pick and fave is gonna be Dodgers. Believe it or not, I see them making it this year. I see them making it to the World Series and giving another team a run for their money. I see it being Dodgers and maybe hmm. Let's see, Dodgers. Ooh, AL. Ooh. Let me see. And this may be a bit out there, but not that too far off. Maybe Houston this year. Going for the AL, not New York. I mean, New York is pretty much a given. That's why I said Houston. I'm going out there. Um, and maybe this year they can do it without cheating. Um, it's a good comeback story from losing or winning slash losing in public opinion for cheating World Series. Maybe this year they can actually do it without cheating. Um, I mean, they've been doing pretty good this season without cheating, so. Correct. But it wouldn't surprise anybody if the Yanks wind up winning the ALS. But I say it's going to be Houston that's going to win the ALS and then get into the World Series. Because Houston's got to come back and they've got a chip on their shoulder. They need to prove that, that even though it was proven that they cheated to win, to get to the World Series and then ultimately win, wasn't just a one-time fluke. So they've got a chip on their shoulder to prove it. And they want to prove it bad. um, and minding the fact that they're only 8 games back from New York um, in the amount of wins, they could actually do it. and surprise everybody. Just like the Dodgers are doing for the National League, because um, Dodgers are a team that haven't won in a while. Definitely due for it. Well, I can say in the same note, so ain't the Mets, but the Mets have more frequently made it, at least to the NLS um, and the ALS.